How's it going, movie fans? The 2nd of January 2021 is the 53rd birthday of actor Cuba Gooding Jr., an Academy Award-winning actor who has also been nominated for a Golden Globe. Gooding Jr.'s on-screen acting debut came on a TV series in 1986. He worked almost exclusively in television until he made his breakthrough film appearance in 1991. The decade that followed was a very successful one for Gooding Jr., with similar highs only coming sporadically since the turn of the millennium. But Gooding Jr. has certainly shown his quality as an actor. Recently, Gooding Jr. made an appearance in 2020 release Life in a Year. Here are the Firewall's top 10 Cuba Gooding Jr. movies. At number 10 is What Dreams May Come. Chris Nielsen is a pediatrician whose idyllic life with his wife Annie comes crashing down around him when tragedy strikes. 4 years later, it strikes again when Chris is killed in a car accident. After being greeted by Albert, played by Gooding Jr., a friendly face in heaven, Chris is informed that his wife is in hell after committing suicide. The running time is 113 minutes, and What Dreams May Come has the Firewall rating of 7 out of 10. At number 9 is The Butler. Inspired by a true story, Cecil Gaines is a husband and father of 2 sons who in 1957 is hired by the White House as a butler. His employment there sees him be a butler and occasional confidant to 5 American presidents. Gooding Jr. plays Carter Wilson, the White House head butler and Cecil's close friend. The running time is 132 minutes, and The Butler has the Firewall rating of 7.2. At number 8 is The Tuskegee Airmen. This made-for-TV movie is based on the real-life exploits of the first African-American combat pilots in the US Army Air Corps. It depicts their struggles during World War II, which they had to overcome in order to fight for their country. Gooding Jr. plays Billy Roberts, one of the flight cadet candidates who travels to Alabama. The running time is 106 minutes, and The Tuskegee Airmen has the Firewall rating of 7.6. At number 7 is Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story. In this made-for-TV biopic, Gooding Jr. stars as Ben Carson, who was taught from a young age by his mother about the importance of education and provided him with the tools he needed to get a scholarship to Yale University, and to go on to become a world-famous neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins Hospital. The running time is 86 minutes, and Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story, has the Firewall rating of 7.6. At number 6 is American Gangster. Based on the true story of gangster Frank Lucas, who goes from being the right-hand man of a mob boss to a major player trafficking heroin from Thailand into the United States during the late 60s and early 70s. Gooding Jr. plays Nicky Barnes, a local gangster who Lucas finds himself at odds with. The running time is 157 minutes, and American Gangster has the Firewall rating of 7.7. At number 5 is As Good as It Gets. Melvin Udall is a best-selling novelist living in New York City. He suffers from obsessive-compulsive disorder and has trouble getting along with most people. However, he does fall for a waitress in a restaurant which he visits regularly. Gooding Jr. plays Frank Sachs, Melvin's neighbor's agent. The running time is 139 minutes, and As Good as It Gets has the Firewall rating of 7.8. At number 4 is Selma. In this historical drama, which is based on the 1965 Selma to Montgomery voting rights marches, where a number of prominent civil rights activists, including Martin Luther King Jr., led a non-violent demonstration for the rights of African Americans to vote. Gooding Jr. plays Fred Gray, a civil rights attorney. The running time is 128 minutes, and Selma has the Firewall rating of 7.9. At number 3 is Jerry Maguire. Gooding Jr. won an Academy Award and received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as Rodney Tidwell, a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals NFL team, and the only player to stand by sports agent Jerry Maguire when Maguire sets out to start his own agency. The running time is 139 minutes, and Jerry Maguire has the Firewall rating of 7.9. At number 2 is A Few Good Men. Adapted from the play of the same name, following the death of a US Marine at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base in Cuba, 2 fellow Marines are accused of murder. While a plea deal is negotiated, the pair insist that they were following orders. Gooding Jr. plays Corporal Carl Hammaker. The running time is 138 minutes, and A Few Good Men has the Firewall rating of 7.9. At number 1 is Boys in the Hood. In this crime drama, which was Gooding Jr.'s breakthrough role, he stars as Jason Stiles III, aka Trey, who is sent by his concerned mother to live with his father in the Crenshaw district of South Los Angeles. Trey is guided away from the gang activity in the area as he becomes a mature and responsible teenager. The running time is 112 minutes, and Boys in the Hood has the Firewall rating of 8.5. Thanks for watching. Next week I'll be counting down the Firewall's top 10 J.K. Simmons movies. Don't forget to subscribe for more top 10s and reviews.